Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our 31st video session with Impaction. Today, we're going to hear from the student group from the University of Washington called Impact.
Is Impact Plus Plus. Our main purpose is to foster a CS plus social good community at UW. It's not really just CS, it's more just like anything technical that kind of helps with software products for the most part. So that can be design, it can even be like program management. It just depends on what that looks like. Um, but we try and connect students with projects where they can work directly with nonprofits. Yeah,
I would like to know on what parameters you recruit students to for
yeah,
these projects.
yeah. So there's actually kind of crazy, but like the interest at UW for working on this kind of stuff is insane. It's like our first recruiting round, we had like 65 applications, and we were only recruiting for like 40 in sports on the projects. The second round was also like similar numbers. Um, and so it is like kind of hard for us to, like narrow down on who we want to give this opportunity to. And a lot of that goes down to like we're trying to like just manage these projects so that they're not like people are being productive to some extent. And so like that takes a lot of resources and like time from our end. So we can't just like have everybody work on these projects, at least right now. In terms of like how we decide who gets to work on the stuff, we try and interview as many people as we can. So like the first recruiting round, we literally interviewed 65 people in like a week, which was crazy, and like it is not feasible to do that like every single time. So like the second time around, we had like this basic application where people wrote like why they're interested in doing this stuff, and then we kind of narrowed based on that, and then we interviewed like 25 people or something. The main things we ask for in the interview, like it's not so much about like your technical prowess. Like we don't really like care if you've worked on 1,000 projects before or whatever. We essentially look for like do you actually care about this kind of stuff? Are you are you motivated? Do you have the time to work on the stuff? We look for people who've had experience with like learning things quickly in the past, because like that's usually a pretty good indicator of whether or not they'll like stick around for the project. Just because like the initial ramp up period is like you're just learning a lot, and like a lot of that is just by yourself often. And so that's kind of something that we look out for.
Basically, what we were trying to do is expand Impact Plus Plus into our community. And we were thinking of two primary ways of doing so. The first of which is, as Sharia mentioned, sort of like a discussion series where we bring in students around campus, and we have some sort of a speaker to come talk about some key like aspect of how technology can be used in the social good space. But also what we were thinking of doing is creating a workshop series, particularly towards CS education, targeted towards high school students. And we're trying to break the traditional stigma that computer science is just for, making money, trying to go work for the big companies. It can also be used to create positive social change. And we're trying to do so by first, bringing a group of students together at UW, and then bringing in certain speakers, professors, instructors around campus who we feel will be able to communicate and teach our students how to teach CS to a group of students who don't really know about CS. And so based on this little workshop series, we hope to conclude it by going to a high school in the Seattle region and giving a little workshop about a certain topic that we have learned to teach. And basically the goal of this is to not only create awareness for computer science as, an academic domain, but also its applications in the social